Today we are going to look at your unique gifts and talents based on your past life. What is up, my brothers and my sisters from all over the world, my soul family? It's awesome to have you join me here today. So today's reading is going to be a really fun one. I picked one myself. It's going to be about your unique gifts and talents based on your past life. For those of you who are new here, my name is Kim and this is my channel. Obviously, I do intuitive tarot, oracle, and Norman readings on here. I'm also an artist and an inspiring writer at this moment, amongst other things. I like to call myself a student of life, aka I don't have any specific thing that I'm super passionate with or passionate about. I like to kind of flow and try new things. I'm essentially interested in a whole lot of things. So this reading is going to be helpful for even myself. That's why I picked a stack. So you'll know which one I picked once we get started with the reading. So that'll be like a cool way to connect. I have 7 stacks that you can choose from. Here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. I'm gonna put an up close here right now. Wow, there we go. That's a better one. Yeah, I'm not the best at snapping. Anyways, I have 7 stacks. This is a lot, so I'm gonna try to make it fast and make these readings not like 3 hours long, because who has time for that nowadays? But if you enjoy this reading, I would really appreciate it. If you like this video, let me know that you did enjoy, that it resonated with you, and I always greatly appreciate that. Also, I'm doing a special on my newly opened Etsy channel for readings. Anything that you want to ask and want to get reading about, I can basically do. It's a 1-question reading for $5.55 for a limited time only. I'm just doing that offer right now because I just opened, so it would be really amazing if you could check that out if you're interested and if it resonates with you. And yeah, that's going to be a limited time offer, so you want to take advantage of that before that changes. So if you don't know how this works, if you're new here, you pick a stack that you resonate with, that calls out to you the most. Sometimes people feel called to picking 2 stacks, and if that's the case with you, feel free to go ahead and do that. That happens to me sometimes, but typically for me it's just 1 stack. You can pick from the numbers. Here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Or you can pick from the stones. Or you could just, get a sense. You can even put your hand on top of the phone and get a feel of which one, you're feeling pulled towards. Once you have chosen your stack, you can go to the scrubber bar and go to the chapter section and jump to your reading, or you can check out the description box below. I have other info and stuff like that in there as well. The timestamps will be there as well. And then that's it. You can jump straight to your reading. That way you don't have to read through everything or scroll through everything. So yeah, that's all. I'm so excited to get started. And I really hope you enjoy this. Let me know if you do. Give it a thumbs up. Let me know in the comments which parts resonated with you and how. And let's get started. Hello, for those of you who picked group 1, this is the red Carnelian stone for the root chakra stone. Before we get started, I just want to remind you that this is a general reading, so only take the messages that resonate and leave the rest. If you don't believe in past lives, that's okay. Just take the messages that are for you and discard everything else. Those messages are for other people. That's how these readings work. So don't feel discouraged if you think it's a joke and you don't believe in past lives. This is just going to be then a message for your unique gifts and talents. Alright, so I hope you enjoy. If you do, please let me know and check out the description box below for more info. Alright, let's see. You get the letter. Extremism. This is Mercury and Scorpio. Wow, right off the bat, synchronicities. Do you see how this is the letter and he is holding a letter right here, trying to give it to the woman? Can you believe that? Synchronicities right away. I didn't even look at these cards prior. I just shuffled them. So this talks about your past life. There is something here of a really intense love story. I don't know if you're the man or the woman in this situation, but someone was besotted with you, or you were besotted by someone, and you wanted to show your love, you wanted to show your affection, you were actively courting somebody in your past life, and this was one of the most significant things in that life for you. This person, whether it be unrequited love, was a huge part of your life for whatever reason. We got the Knight of Discs. So this is interesting. I'm getting like medieval era, obviously because the knight, but just olden times, obviously, because it is your past life. But with the Knight of Discs here, maybe you are, you know, either a Scorpio or an Earth sign. Those really don't matter. I just want to throw that out there just in case. But with the Knight of Discs here, yeah, someone wants to give you an offer, or you wanted to give someone an offer, so that was a really big deal. Alright, so we get the Hierophant and the Wheel of Fortune. Okay, making a whole lot more sense now. Group 1. I'll get to it in a second, but let's just say that you were part of a culture that really put a lot of value in marriages. You might have been a noble in the past, maybe even the royal family. I'm not really getting that. I'm getting more of a very wealthy family where you married into other families to kind of, you know, keep business affairs strong and business connections strong and things like that. Intuition, 22. Beautiful. I love it when that comes out because it just goes to show that I think you've been sensing this for a long time. Tourmalinated Quartz. Get out of your own way. Okay. I am not afraid of storms, for I am learning to sail my ship. Ace of Swords. Louisa May Alcott. I love that there's a ship here. I'm instantly hearing Titanic and getting like a strong sense of Titanic and like wanting to escape from troubled waters, if you will. Maybe traveling to a different country. Maybe you know of your ancestors who kind of were born from a different country but immigrated into another one. Prince of Arrows, Cupid. So this is the, I think this is the Page, no, or the Knight of Swords or something like that. Possibly Cupid. I'll double check on that in a sec. Knight of Swords, so that's very interesting. The Waiting Game. 2 of Wands. And the base chakra. Okay, very cool. Alright, so group 1. Your hidden talents is that you have a very strong intuition. And I think that your intuition in this life will lead you to the right partner for you if you don't already have it. So if you are sensing like for instance, if you're in a relationship and you're getting a sense that this is not the right person, I think that sometimes you tend to override those emotions, kind of thinking that, oh, how could you trust yourself? You're just feeling paranoid or whatever, so you override those feelings, but the fact of the matter is your intuition is trying to tell you something. I think that for you, group 1, you may have had a star-crossed lover situation. I think there was a lot of obsession with someone in the past, and I think that in this life, only take the messages that resonate and leave the rest, but I think that in this life, you're going to be meeting this person once again, and this person who was either obsessed with you or you were obsessed with, and kind of writing that karma, if that makes sense. it's possible that this life you do end up marrying them because of different circumstances in this life versus the other life. But with intuition and get out of your own way here, I really feel like you question yourself a lot. Like, you know the right decision for you. You know what you want. You know that something's not working out anymore, or you know that someone is special to you, but you're just like, oh, like, what the hell? Like, why would I think that way? But, like, I think that if you sense somebody has a deeper meaning or a deeper connection to you than you perhaps can logically fathom, there's a reason for that. Like, for instance, if you feel someone is your soulmate or your past life partner or past connection, there's a reason why you're feeling like that. It's because you're connected on another level that perhaps isn't as easily seen from the outside. I am not afraid of storms, for I am learning to sail my ship. So in this life, your hidden gifts, your hidden talents, your purpose has a lot to do with love. There are a lot of messages here regarding building a strong family foundations for generations to come. So, if you perhaps had issues in your ancestry, or maybe your parents weren't like the most stable role models or anything like that, your job in this life is to right those ancestral patterns, if you will. Those harmful, destructive, toxic ancestral patterns. With the Prince of Arrows here showing up as Cupid, and the Hierophant right above it with the Knight of Disc. I feel like the Knight of Disc is a very stable, romantic partner. They like to take things slow, right? This is the type of person who's like got his ish together, or got their ish together. And while they want to pursue their love interest, their crush or whatever, they're not going to make that person a sole focus of their lives, because they don't want to be too needy or too clingy, because they believe in their value. They believe in what they have to offer. But if this is you, or if this is the person that chases you or pursues you, like, you will just feel very safe in their company, in their presence. I feel also with the Knight of Discs here and the Ace of Swords, it is definitely possible that you will feel that they are very protective. Yeah, I think that you'll feel that they're very protective. So group 1, your purpose based, or your unique gifts and talents, and essentially purpose based on your past life, has a lot to do with your life partner and what you are building, like I said, for your offspring. Because the Hierophant here with the Wheel of Fortune next to the Knight of Discs, like, this person wants a stable family. They want a husband, they want a wife, they want a happy family, they want a beautiful home, they want the luxuries in life, they want good health, they want, like, the whole picture. They want that 10 of Pentacles. But it's possible that this person, group 1, that you are attracting into your life, they may have had unhealthy relationships in the past, or relationships that really did not go well. Maybe they were rejected. Maybe they felt like their love was taken advantage of or not valued. It's possible that they wrote love letters or something like that to a past partner, and like a very serious relationship ended or something like this. But if you're somebody who feels like you resonate with this message and you want this to occur, you want this to happen, this is something that feels right with you, then you are the person that person is looking for, or that individual that you were looking for is out there wanting someone like you, wanting someone like who you are at this moment. Perhaps you question yourself, right? Perhaps you're insecure, like, oh, these guys have all these good things going about them, they're so blah blah blah, and I'm this, like, you're comparing yourself. But there is somebody out there that literally is like perfectly made for you, almost, because you were meant to come into this life together. You're getting two here, two, so 2 2 2. Also a lot of air signs and earth signs: Aquarius, Libra, Gemini for air, Taurus, Capricorn, and Virgo for earth. But yeah, it looks like group 1, either you or your person feels like you have been waiting forever for the right person to come along, because they feel like a little bit of an outsider. They don't feel like people can relate to them on the level that they really desire. Like, they feel like nobody gets what they want out of life. They feel like maybe they're an old soul or they're old-fashioned, but you get that. You want that. You resonate with that on a huge level that I think will bring you closer together in this lifetime. And I do see that with the Wheel of Fortune, that if you are wanting this and perhaps your faith is waning, don't let it wane, because it's definitely like showing up here for you. Tourmalinated quartz, get out of your own way, intuition. You tend to self-sabotage yourself in regards to whatever it is that you're dealing with. Perhaps, like I said from the beginning, questioning your intuition. You already have the answers regarding whatever question that you have or that is plaguing your mind right now. I think that you tend to numb those intuitive nudges, like I said earlier, and you tend to think of those messages as worthless or useless or essentially nothing, just air, basically. But your soul has been trying to tell you something. Your soul has been trying to get you to see something. Some of you are like really romantic, and maybe you felt that other people rejected you for that characteristic. But like, one man's trash is another man's treasure kind of thing. Someone out there exists, is living and breathing, someone you are going to be attracted to, and they appreciate that about you. They will appreciate that about you. So if you're ever questioning yourself, like, oh, why am I such a weirdo? It's just because you haven't found the right person. And I do see that that person is out there for you. With the extremism here, with the Mercury and Scorpio, this is about like literally like being too pushy or forceful in the pursuit of love. So this is a message to tone it back if this is you, or yeah, basically a message to tone it back if this is you. But with the letter here, it's also a message of being vulnerable and being honest. But don't be so aggressive in the way that you deliver the message. And I get that because, you know, I've delivered very aggressive messages in the past. So by this message, by this energy, it's just a message of toning that down. But it looks like there's something here about sending a message, a letter. It could even be like a literal physical letter that we don't necessarily get a lot of these days. So I think that would be cool. If you ever like if you ever have the opportunity to do that, to like write someone a letter, write to someone how you feel about them, take advantage of that opportunity. But like I said, like, have temperance when you reach out to this person. Don't be like, I love you and I want to marry you and oh my god, blah blah blah. And just be like, you know, I really like enjoyed my time with you and I care about you and you know, I keep thinking about you, and I hope you don't think this is weird, but you know what I mean? Just like be honest, but don't be like, I want you to have my babies and you're the one and you're the only one and oh my god, blah, 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 I will die for you type of situation. I think if you come from the space of the Knight of Discs here, the Knight of Pentacles, and like come from this empowered, confident space where you're able to be vulnerable and open with your true feelings without like losing control or your balance, then I think that that's the sweet spot for you. But yeah, a lot of things from your past life have a lot to do with tradition also, like marriage, the church, religion, what you believe, God, like this divine union. I think you will, definitely feel, if you're single right now especially, you will, you know, be happily married someday, and you're gonna find your person, you're gonna find your soulmate, you're gonna have beautiful children, and you're gonna feel safe in your home, and it's gonna be like beautiful. But of course there's challenges before you get to that culmination point, but you know, you have to get out of your own way. Stop questioning yourself so much. And I know that's easier said than done, but like, it can be done. If you're feeling anxious, if you're feeling unbalanced, a lot of the times you can get back to a place where you are grounded again. And I feel like that's what I'm seeing for you. So that's all I'm getting for you, group 1. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoy this message, and don't forget to give it a thumbs up, and check down the description box below if you want to get a limited offer reading from me for $5.55. If you pick this clear quartz crystal, let's get started with your reading. But before we do, I just want to remind you this is a general reading, so only take the messages that resonate and leave the rest. And as always, if you enjoy this reading, if it resonated with you, let me know. I'd love to hear about it. I'd love to hear about you guys' thoughts and stuff about these readings. Otherwise, I feel like I'm just doing it to no one. So yeah, thank you for tuning in today, and let's get started. So you're getting the Mountain, and then you're getting practicality, Moon and Capricorn. Do you have a Moon and Capricorn maybe? Doesn't have to be. This is just talking about the energy of the Moon in Capricorn. And completion, the Four of Wands. I love that. I love the Four of Wands, just in general. Oh man, you could be an earth sign, or in the past, or in your past life you were an earth sign, but very, very stable, grounded energy. And I think this is definitely going to play a part in your life today, or in this life, I should say. So you're getting the Nine of Swords and the High Priestess. That wanted to come out reversed. So that'll give us a little bit of a clue as to why that was coming out in reversed. Yeah, so you're definitely questioning yourself regarding something. Completion again. We have 2 of those cards, Four of Wands and the Completion coming through as a 9 in this deck. Very, very interesting. Indeed, appetite. Get out of your comfort zone. What does this mean, guys? Where is your comfort zone? And how can you get out of your comfort zone? And Six of Cups. God gave us memories so that we might have roses in December. Sir J.M. Barrie. Ten of Arrows. I think this is the Ten of Swords. Yeah, I think this is the Ten of Swords. Two of Cups, spiritual union. I love that. And Shine, 19, which is the Sun. Alright, so your hidden or your unique talents and gifts. In this life, I think that you, group 2, you could be young right now, or some of you are young at least. Some of you are still not sure of what you want to do in your life. In actuality, though, in your past life, you actually overcame a whole lot of things. You were quite successful and industrious. With the moon in Capricorn here. You just keep it real. You know that life isn't easy, but you don't complain. But because you're showing up here as a Nine of Swords and the High Priestess that wanted to come out in reversed, I think there's so much noise that you're hearing, or so much noise that is distracting you. And it could definitely, I'm just laughing because I hear AirPods. So some of you could have issues with your AirPods if you're using AirPods. Like, because the waves go through your brain, they don't have that wire, so they're communicating to each other through your brain. So you might not notice this, but it could be affecting your mood in subtle ways, possibly causing you to feel like this. So if this is you, if you feel like this at this moment, it's possible it's your what is that called? I was just talking about it. Earbuds? Is it earbuds? AirPods. But also is getting just like noise pollution, maybe where you live, or electric pollution, frequency pollution, especially if you're like living close to your, or sleeping close to your Wi-Fi, or always around like computers and networks and stuff like that. Is it networks? What is that called? Like, you know those towers? Cell towers? You could literally be sensitive to those things right now at this moment. Get out of your comfort zone. So for some of you, your situation right now, it's giving me messages regarding the current moment. Your situation right now, or where you live, is not where you want to live, right? I think that you want to move somewhere differently. It says here, get out of your comfort zone. It's like where you are right now, you don't really want to be in. I'm getting a lot of soulmates in this reading so far. Like in the previous reading, they were definitely people who had a whole lot to do with a spiritual union regarding their life, or their past life and in this life. And I'm feeling that with you too. Like you, with the Two of Cups here, a spiritual union, it's possible that your person could have similar features as you. Look how they look quite similar. They have the same haircut and everything like that. Your person could possibly have similar features than you. And I feel like, okay, this is one of the situations where like when you're in this relationship, you're going to feel very, very happy. You're going to feel like you can shine like the sun. And you know what? It could be an issue of, is this focusing? I hope it is. Let's see. So it could be an issue of maybe going through a breakup recently and that not working out, and maybe you're having trouble letting go, but deep inside you know a certain truth, right? Because yeah, you know, the Four of Wands is, for me at least, a traditionally, or it's a card linked to marriage with the Four of Wands. I feel like you're tired of being alone, group 2, and you don't want to be alone, but you also don't want to chase love or feel like you need somebody to feel fulfilled. But your hidden gifts and talents actually come from being in a relationship, like an intimate romantic relationship. That makes sense. Let me double check with this deck if the arrows are in fact swords. Yeah, the arrows are in fact swords. So this is a 10 of swords. I don't know, I'm just getting a different vibe from this. Yeah, maybe I feel like some of you guys are like in separation, or you broke up with someone and you're still thinking about them. I mean, it really could go either way, that this is not over yet, this connection is not over yet. But it could also be that there's just someone else better for you waiting on the other side, because you do have completion here twice. So take that as you will. But something about your situation is not helping you anymore. I think you question your ability to do things. You probably think of yourself as like a screw up or something like that. You probably think of yourself as someone who can never get it right, always having some issues, like always making a mess of things. But in actuality, you are actually quite a very stable person. And I see that with your past life cards. You're a very practical person. You're reasonable. Like I said, you're industrious. You have value. I think that, you know, it could literally be like your living situation or just noise pollution. Maybe you're taking in too much data or information at a very fast pace and not able to digest it or process it as you should, because again, it's coming at a way too fast pace. This is definitely a spread of slowing down a little bit, grounding. This is a very interesting reading. I think that you have a lot of guides, group 2. You have a lot of guides that won't let you go astray, but you have to help yourself to get out of your comfort zone here. I'm seeing the blues here connecting with the swords in this card, and also with the High Priestess. This could also be an issue of not trusting your intuition. It wanted to come through as reversed. So it could definitely be an issue of not trusting your intuition and feeling like you don't know what to do or what to decide, even though you want to take a certain action. Something is blocking you from taking that action, and it could literally be yourself. Maybe you're afraid to reach out. Maybe you're stressed about finances with the mountains and practicality here. But like, you know, this is your last card in your spread, Shine. This is possible for you. This is what's ahead. You just have to get over this hump. Your past life, I think you became very spiritually in tune, and it afforded you in this life a very magnetic presence and energy and certain spiritual gifts and talents and capabilities that is somehow being undermined due to modern pressures of the world. Perhaps technology, perhaps your body is just not adjusting to all of the frequencies that are zipping through the air where you live. Like I said, if you're living, or if your Wi-Fi is close to your bedroom, for instance, maybe try to move that farther away if you can. I know sometimes we can't do that because of space limitations, but you know, you can always get those orgonite protectors, Wi-Fi EMF protectors. Maybe try that, because this is giving me strong vibes of that situation. There's something unseen, some hidden force unseen that is, I think, kind of blocking your senses, your intuitive senses, from like, you know, feeling the clarity that I think you want to feel to make this decision. It's almost like you want to take a fresh breath of air. It's almost like you want to have space. With a get out of your comfort zone, I mean, that could be a specific message for each and every one of you. Like, where is it that you think that you can go, that you can do to get out of your comfort zone? Like, I'm already coming up with ways that I think I can do that, but I love that you have spiritual union here. I think that you You are in luck when it comes to relationships somehow in this life. In your past life, I'm getting that you may have been single, or perhaps you didn't get married, you didn't settle down, you may have focused on your career or something like that. I'm hearing doctor, potentially, or like you were some sort of spiritual figure or healer in which that you could not marry someone. So that could be a priestess. You do have the high priestess here, so that makes sense why I was getting that. But I think in this life you get to live a different life. Like if you were single in your past life, in this life your journey is to finally have that relationship that I think you wanted in your past life, but knew you could not have because of certain rules in terms of how you're living. You know how in certain cultures in the past, like high priestesses or certain like mediums and things like that, they couldn't get married for whatever reason because they had certain spiritual disciplines and rules to go by. That's, I think, something along the lines of what you were going through. That, or you just couldn't find someone to settle down with. But in this life, you want to open your heart. It's possible that group 2, you have a closed heart, or you think like you have a closed heart, and it's hard for you to reach out and to be vulnerable and to open your heart to somebody because of those past life energies, especially with the mountain practicality here and completion. You've served that karma that needed you to be alone. Now you get to finally live your true heart's desire, and I think that's a spiritual union. You're looking for a mate, so I think that with this reading with people, I'm getting a lot of twin flames and soulmates and divine counterpart energy. So if you're watching this and you're super resonating with it, I think that you have a divine counterpart, and you trust your intuition. You know if that's for you, and no matter what, if you know that that's your truth, don't let people tear you down. Don't let people make you feel like that's not true or that's not possible, because it's not their reality, So I think that's your message, group 2. I hope you enjoy, and I hope you got something interesting or valuable out of that. Let me know what you thought in the comments down below, and yeah, I hope you enjoy. Hey group 3, if you picked the Circle Chakra Stone, let's see your messages for this reading regarding your past life. Before we get started, just a reminder, this is a general reading, so only take the messages that resonate and leave the rest. You'll know based on how you feel about the messages. They should feel like confirmations, intuitive nudges, reminding you of your own personal truth, okay? So, let's see what cards you got. You got the Bouquet. And I'll put a close-up of the cards here so you can get a better look. Then you got Saturn and Aries in the first house. Very interesting. Wow, this is a very, very fiery energy. It says risk here, so this is the card of risk, the Bouquet and risk. The Princess of Discs, so this is the Page of Pentacles, essentially. And this is awesome. So in your past life, you were quite the entrepreneur. You took the risks in business, and I do feel that you succeed. That, or you inherited a business where you had to run it or something, and I think that there's a gift here coming through based on those experiences. Yeah, look at that. Knight of Cups makes complete sense. So I do feel like in your past life, you lived quite a lavish lifestyle. Two of Swords. Very interesting energy. I think it just goes to show that this is potentially a message that perhaps you questioned the lifestyle that you were living or the business that you were in. It's possible it has something to do with slavery, but that's not really super strong. I just was getting that message. I wanted to relay it. Maybe you were like, oh, is this morally correct? And you were questioning that. But yes, I do feel like you were very wealthy, or you were well off in your past life, and you had all of your needs met, and you didn't really have to worry about it. And I think it's because you were like an entrepreneur, a little bit similar to group 2. Or no, group 3. Is it group 2? No, group 2. And they were industrious as well. So this is, I feel like, is you. You're very industrious, but you questioned certain things. Maybe the morals of the business that you were in, or whether you were living the right way. Okay? So that was, my camera cut off, so I'm sorry about that, but that was actually kind of crazy, because as I was talking about you kind of questioning your beliefs or what you're doing, the way that you're living, I was thinking, before I saw this next card, I was thinking that it's possible you were introduced or made aware of a spiritual teacher, and then this card came up, this spirituality card. So I do feel that you may have pivoted in your past life from being a very wealthy person, whether it be a man or a woman. I'm getting more so man here, even though we have the Princess of Discs. This is technically the Page of Pentacles, but it's possible you may have pivoted because you were introduced, or you caught a whiff of a spiritual teacher that kind of made you question the way that you have been living your life. You were on a spiritual journey in your past life. Aquamarine, go with the flow. Beautiful. Is this, hopefully it's focusing. Is it focusing? Okay. And then you get 8 of Swords. You can never cross the ocean unless you have the courage to lose sight of the shore. Christopher Columbus, exactly. So it feels like you were definitely this type of person. You know how Christopher Columbus kind of went on that long voyage and essentially sailed to America and established the monarchy in America? This was your energy. You were very much so entrepreneurial. You were a pioneer in many ways. You took that risk. You had a gift of taking the correct risks, knowing which businesses to invest in, knowing what to work on, how much effort and energy or time to put into something. And because of that gift of yours, you were able to build wealth quite well. But I think that, you know, there's that kind of tower moment that comes into your life in the form of a spiritual teacher of some sort that makes you kind of want to pivot or question things or change the way that you've been living. Ace of Arrows. This is the Ace of Swords. Yeah, it's almost like you had like this awakening that all of the things that you were doing suddenly seemed to not be as interesting. 20, the Truth, yep. So this is the Judgment card in the traditional tarot. But I want you to see how this man here is robed. Typically this attire is the garment of a very spiritual person, teacher, or an adept. And they are staring into this doorway into the cosmos. So I do feel like you came from a very wealthy family or something like that. You made your own money, or you were from a wealthy family and you were able to continue to build on that wealth because of your own natural gifts. Perhaps you were taught or trained from a young age, but I think you pivoted. So I think that while you were a wealthy person in your past life, you also started to pivot more into the spiritual. You started to pivot more into seeking higher truth and possibly even science. I was getting science, so you could have studied astronomy or something like that. Study the constellations, astrology possibly even. but you did quite the 180. I think by the end of your life, in your past life, you started to live more modestly. 5 of Wands, challenging times. Interesting. It could have something to do with a war, but I'm not really gonna go deep into that because I just don't feel like it's important right now. But with the 5 of Wands here, challenging times, and he's got that shield, it's possible that you kind of went into this awakening and met somebody because of a certain war. So let me know if that's resonating with you. How is this playing into your current life right now? Regardless of where you are at right now, I do feel that your path in this life has a lot to do with your spiritual journey, your spiritual awakening. You taking the initiative to learn about quote-unquote higher truths that most people perhaps don't really bother with. It's definitely possible that you, at this point in your life, are able to go deeper into that because of your past interest and experience in already kind of starting that flow, gaining that momentum towards learning about these certain practices or philosophies. That's very interesting. And if you're ever like questioning your purpose, go with the flow is your message here with aquamarine. I love how it looks like the ocean. Go with the purpose is your message here. Like, you will always find clues and messages about where you are meant to go, the steps that you're meant to take. So if you're ever feeling uncertain, just know that the next step is going to be revealed to you if you pay attention. You do have the Ace of Swords, the Ace of Swords here, Ace of Arrows. This is the card of clarity and an open mind and just an awakening of some sort, a realization, a sort of epiphany. So if ever you're feeling like you lack the courage to make that journey from point A to B, from where you are right now to where you want to be, like especially if you're young, like all of these purples here show me that you're very spiritually in tune. For some reason, a lot of you, of course, naturally, if you're on my channel and if you're watching a past life reading from me, you're going to be very spiritual. But with you guys, the difference with you is like you are more focused on the external world rather than the internal world. You're focused on the higher truths that are shown to you in the external world. So stars, astrology, constellations, astronomy, space, music is what I'm hearing, like healing music, healing frequencies, maybe even playing with certain light, you know what I mean? Like the external physical truths and magic of life is something that you're very talented in. So let me know what that means for you. Maybe you're already a musician. Maybe you're playing with, what is that called? The DJ set thing. Like, I don't know. I feel like those kind of fields would really interest you. And there's also those sound bowls. I feel like that's something that is interesting. But yes, before in your past life you were wealthy and you had all the luxuries and you lived that, which is why in this life you're not super interested in the material world. Yes, you want the stability that you need, but right now what your soul is really craving, and again, only take the messages that resonate and leave the rest. Like this video, leave a comment down below if this is resonating with you, because I feel like it will. You're already like, you've already lived that life of luxury where you had everything you want. Everyone was at your beck and call. You had the power. Now you're here to study the physical world and to dive a little bit deeper, peel back those layers. Like what makes physical laws the way that it is? Why is it that gravity exists? Why does lightning exist? You know what I mean? Like, you're here to really ponder certain phenomena in the world, but to take it a step further and merge it and mesh it with spirituality, with magic, with esotericism, with the mystic part of life. You know what I mean? I'm kind of feeling out of breath. Let me take a drink. That's what happens when I get a lot of messages. I'm just like feeling bombarded, so I need to like, it's super sensitive, so I'm just trying to like sort through all the messages at once. But yes, it could possibly have something to do, it could have something to do with definitely science. I chuckled earlier because I was hearing like weapons, which is kind of interesting because I did see this as a card of war, which, you know, I'm all about peace, love, and happiness and stuff like that, but if aliens were to come invade, you might be useful in creating an advanced weapon that could potentially protect us from extraterrestrials that are not so friendly. Or at least kind of get the ball rolling in that sense. Or maybe you already work for one of those companies. I don't know. Maybe you're in the military or something. But, kind of a weird random message. But yes, it's possible that you do initiate, or you help in discovering something new that we've never heard before, or maybe you're gonna help make the masses more aware of a certain technology that we aren't, or that isn't easily accessible to us just yet, and maybe is underdeveloped in some way, but it's unique in a sense that it meshes spirituality and magic with science, with tangible science. It's not just in computers, it's not just in digital media, it's tangible, but it's different. And, you know, like I said, it's meshing spirituality, magic with science, and I feel like that is your talent, group 3, if you picked the sacral chakra stone. It could have something to do with music, with sound, you know what I mean, certain frequencies and stuff like that. But yes, that's what I'm getting for you. I hope you resonated with this reading, and if that science part was not resonating with you, I think your message though is your spirituality is definitely very, very important in this life. Kind of developing that. Maybe some of you want to go to a retreat in Nepal, or learn from a master or something like that. Learn from a spiritual master in India or in Southern America, you know what I mean? Like, kind of take it seriously in that way and learn about that. That could potentially be the field or the answer that you're looking for with the 2 of Swords here coming through in your energy. Alright, so that's all I'm getting for you, group 3. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoy this, and I hope you got messages out of it that are beneficial for you and that you find valuable. Before I go, I just want to remind you that I do have that 555 reading available. It's a 1-question reading. It's in my Etsy. You can find the link in the bio. Alright, so thanks for joining me today. I hope you have a good one. Hey group 4, if you picked this amethyst stone, let's get started with your reading. Before we begin though, just a reminder, this is a general reading, so only take the messages that resonate and leave the rest. As always, try not to get offended if you're easily offended. Just kidding. I don't really try to offend people on this channel or in these readings. I just try to kind of read the cards and be, well, not kind of, I read the cards and be as honest as possible about them. So sometimes, you know, I do pick up on shadow messages, aka not super positive light and rainbows and butterflies messages, so be aware of that. I like to be honest about the messages that I'm getting, so you know, feel free to discard the messages that don't resonate with you and leave the rest. Don't allow this to be something that scares you. Okay, let's get started. Ooh, okay, so you get the moon and caution. Mercury in, I think this is Virgo, in the 6th house. Huh, interesting. Moon, caution. And then you get 5 of Swords, defeat. So these are talking about your past life. We'll get into what that means in a little bit, and also insert a close-up of the cards. Also, oh my goodness, the Devil and the Page of Swords. All right, group 4, you went through quite the ringer in your past life. I'm feeling a huge sense of betrayal. I'm seeing that you could potentially have been a very successful person, maybe a singer, a musician, and someone wanted to pull you down to their level, wanted you to trust them, and you did, and it caused a lot of pain and issues for you. Relationship change, 56. That simplifies 2 and 11. Yeah, so it definitely has something to do with your relationship. That was a very significant part of your life. Hematite, ground yourself. Makes a lot of sense. In this life, if you ever are feeling anxious around people, group 4, if you think or if you feel like you're someone who's very awkward in social situations, maybe you like to avoid people, or maybe you don't feel super confident in the presence of people, maybe you haven't always been the most popular kid, maybe you were bullied in the past, it was because of this past life experience where you were betrayed by somebody that you trusted. And this is what is causing your anxiety when it comes to certain social situations. Queen of Wands, the greatest good you can do for another is not just to share your riches, but to reveal to him his own. Benjamin Disraeli. This woman on this card, Queen of Wands, it says she's Madame Harriot. And this was painted by Renoir in 1882 in Hamburg, Germany. She reminds me of my aunt. Anyways. 9 of arrows. Yeah, look at this. She's like just super stressed. You know how she's blonde and she has her face in her palm and stuff like that, and she looks so innocent and pure? This is reminding me of Cinderella when her stepsisters were like bullying her, and her stepmother was being cruel to her. I feel that this is you. You're very pure-hearted, or you were pure-hearted in the past. And because of that characteristic of yours, you were hurt by people. They wanted to kind of pull you down to their level. Page of Swords next to the Devil here. It really is a strong message of jealousy on some level. Like, someone was jealous of you, and I think that they destroyed your life, or they wanted to, and that is affecting you today. Even if you had the perfect family, perfect childhood, and then you find yourself feeling anxious around people or feeling socially awkward, it's because of these past life circumstances that you found yourself in. Someone was jealous of the recognition that you were getting. Yeah, very interesting. Destiny 10. This is the Wheel of Fortune. I love that. And the Sacral Chakra. It could have something to do with love too, group 4. Like, maybe you experience a sort of betrayal surrounding love. Maybe someone close to you betrayed you. or yeah, betrayed you with a person that you love, you know? This is why you get the relationship change here. But the sacral chakra showing up here. There's something about sexuality that is blocked for you in this life for whatever reason. I think that maybe you feel like you're always attracting the same sort of people or the same sort of situations and circumstances that leave you feeling this Nine of Swords energy, this Nine of Arrows energy, feeling downtrodden. But look how someone is looking out for her. So just because things have been not good in the past, just because things didn't work out in the past doesn't mean they won't, okay? I think that you're on this journey of healing in this life and finding a way to open your heart and be vulnerable again. Look at this destiny here with the Wheel of Fortune card. Look at how she has her hands on her heart, right? So this is you, I think, in your journey in this life, or at least a very huge part of your journey entails this. It's you getting over those certain feelings that are making you feel horrible. And some of you who went through or who experienced sexual assault, you will heal and you will become whole again. With the ground yourself here with hematite, this tells me that your healing journey is quite significant in this lifetime regarding your specific experience that I think you're still holding on to and that you still haven't fully healed. It could be in this life, but I think that the karma from your past life is brought into this life and it caused those issues. And a lot of, or like what's important in this life for you, or one of the main themes in this life for you is healing from both of that. Healing from that past life karma, making it right. The Wheel of Fortune, the completion energy here with the Destiny card. Your destiny is to heal and to become whole and to help other people through your trauma. But yeah, this woman here on this this Wheel of Fortune card, this 10 card, she is so resilient. Like, I think that she has been through quite a bit, but she's still choosing to move forward. For some of you, it is some sort of sexual assault. Feeling your boundaries haven't been respected by somebody. Of course, that's a very sensitive issue to share, but if you want to share and reach out to me, I'm going to leave my email in the description box below. So if you want to share a story, I'd love to hear it. I'd love to hear your thoughts. I love it when you guys email me and talk about how the readings resonate with you. Thank you for that. Thank you for sharing your stories with me. I always appreciate it. And you know, everything that you share with me is confidential, of course. And I honestly feel so touched at everybody who shared their stories with me. So thank you. But yes, group 4, what you're going through has a lot to do with your past life. So if you're questioning, like, where is this shit coming from? Where is this anxiety coming from? Like, why am I feeling like a awkward turtle all the time? And so like, why am I in so much pain yet it doesn't seem to be coming from anywhere significant, at least for some of you? It's coming from your past life. You were betrayed significantly in your past life. You had quite a bit of talent. I keep getting music. You were on a stage of some sort. You were performing. And somebody wanted to bring you down because somebody was jealous of you, unfortunately. So yes, in this life, I think that you will be, oh my god, I'm gonna cry. This doesn't happen a lot, but like, I don't usually get emotional in readings, but like, your soul is still so pure despite what you've been through. And you really want to support fellow girls, other women, you know, or other men even. Or if you're a man, you want to make people feel safe. You want to make women and children feel safe. But especially if you're a woman who is dealing with a lot of trauma and pain, You are so incredible and good-hearted that you still want to support people in their journeys, and this is why, you know, you're experiencing, or you've experienced the things that you have, because through your experience, through your story, you can help someone else. That makes sense with the Queen of Wands here. I don't know if you can tell, they look alike. They look alike. So it's possible that in your past life you were also the same gender that you are now. If you're a male, it's possible that you were a woman in the past, and maybe that's why you're so connected with your feminine energy. So your message is to ground yourself when you're feeling anxious. I know it's easier said than done, but it seems like something's imbalanced in your sacral chakra, which might be causing the feelings of instability or anxiety in that area. And like I said, it could have something to do with your past life, with the devil coming here. This is Capricorn. You could be a Capricorn. Could be a fire sign. You could be dealing with air sign, Aquarius, Gemini, or Libra. It doesn't have to be. But yeah, sometimes grounding is hard. It's easier said than done, but if you keep practicing grounding, like just feeling like solid in the physical world, kind of you know, feeling surfaces, or like taking your shoes off, taking your socks off, and walking on grass and just standing there and letting the earth's gravity pull, or gravitational pull you, and let that erect your spine and also just kind of bring you back to center in perfect alignment. Do that often, and you can do that instantly, because some of you do experience anxiety and fear a lot, especially in the external world and everything that's scary about the external world. So as you continue to practice grounding, you can do that instantly whenever you're feeling off balance. Okay? So yeah, that's your messages, group 4. Thanks for watching. I hope you find this valuable, and I hope that it resonated with you. I'll talk to you or see you or connect with you in the next video. Hey group 5, we picked the same stack, so let's get some messages about our past lives. But before I get started, please know and understand and remember that this is only a general reading, so only take the messages that are for you and leave the rest. Very important, because some messages are for others and some are for you, or maybe all of it is for you and maybe all of it is for others too, but it really just depends on you. So these messages, if they are for you, should feel like confirmations. Certain truths being revealed. Your intuitive nudges are finally being heard and shed light on. That's how they should feel, okay? So if you resonated, give this video a thumbs up and let me know what you thought about it in the comments below. Those of us who picked the solar plexus stone, what is this? I think this is yellow carnelian, but anyways, look at this, the garden. Beautiful. This is a card about community and friendships and social gatherings and things like that. Concentration. Saturn in, is this Gemini? Yeah, 3rd house. Interesting. Saturn in Gemini. Also, Prince of Cups. This is the Knight of Cups. I'll put a close-up of these cards in a sec. 8 of Cups. Oh my gosh. 2 Knight of Cups. What? 8 of Cups and Knight of Cups. Okay, so something about a romantic offer of some sort, or some sort of love offer. Health, 71. Simplifies to 8, which we have in the 8 of Cups already. I love that there's 2 Knight of Cups here. Pink opal, be kind to yourself. I'm hearing the Mediterranean. It's possible for those of you who picked group 5, you are from the Mediterranean, or your past life happened somewhere close to the Mediterranean Sea. The sun, precisely the least, the softest, lightest, a lizard's rustling, a breath, a flash, a moment, a little makes the way of the best happiness. Friedrich Nietzsche. Holy moly, this is gorgeous. I wish you guys could see this image. There's a woman on the side of the road, and there's like these beautiful ships. That would be crazy if this was, never mind, it's in Massachusetts, USA. Oh no, this is where the museum is, in Massachusetts. It's The Banks of the Loire by Joseph Turner. Where is the Loire? Is it on the Mediterranean Sea? Let me double check. But look at that. Do you see that woman on the right side? She's wearing a red dress. How gorgeous. Banks of the Loire. Oh my gosh, it's in France. I knew it. It is somewhere close to the Mediterranean Sea, although it is on the other side. It's pretty close to the Mediterranean Sea. Holy moly. For those of you who picked Group 5, it is definitely possible you are from that area of Europe. I love this picture. How beautiful. And then Prince of Staves, Siegfried. This is the Knight of Wands. Oh my. So a lot of night energy here, and I do sense that it is different people. So it makes sense with the garden. Solitude 9. This is the Hermit card, and there's a book here she's opening up, trying to show us. She's wearing a red dress, a contrast to the girl in the other photo with the sun. That to me is twin flame energy with the red and blue contrast colors, especially that it's two brunette women. And then rest and reconsider. Nine of Wands, another 9 card. 9. Any other 9s? Not really. So it's very interesting that in these 2 cards, they are alone. Yet you have the garden here. Or we have the garden. So there's almost this situation of leaving home to go somewhere else. And here she has a bag with her. I feel like she's going on a trip. I feel like this woman, she left someplace. There was almost something that with this group that feels a little bit unhappy. Someone was unhappy in their life with Group 5. But the gift coming through in this scenario is gifts of adventure and of being brave enough to take a journey all by yourself. You left what was familiar to you in search of something meaningful. It's possible with us, with our group, that we were married and we were in an unhappy marriage and we left that marriage. Attract, yeah, Violet. So yes, it's possible that for those that pick Group 5, and I'm gonna feel like an a-hole for saying this, attract and purify with sage underneath. But I feel like with this group, you were a very attractive person. You had many people wanting to get your attention. And that's why I say I don't want to feel like an asshole, because like I don't want to seem vain. 5 of Pentacles. Is it clarifier? Yeah, like something was making you feel unhappy. It was almost like the people that you were born into wasn't making you feel loved or welcome, because you walk away from this garden. But with a Saturn and Gemini here, or is it Pisces? I need to double check. Forget that symbol. I'm still learning the symbols. Yeah, I was right. So yeah, with the Saturn and Gemini, I feel that you wanted different things from the people around you. And that obviously is being brought into this life. You were always a little bit different. You always felt like a little bit of an outsider. So you went on a journey to search for where you belonged. And you wanted to educate yourself. Yeah, look at that, the world coming out. You wanted to travel, you wanted to see the world, and it's possible that was not acceptable in that culture back then. 8 of Swords here. Yeah, look how she's feeling trapped. And you got the water underneath there too. She's feeling trapped and she sets herself free. She walks away. This is an 8 of Swords here, and this is the 8 of Cups. So you're getting 2 8s as confirmation. In addition to health. For some of us, it could literally be in search for a medicine. Maybe someone we loved got sick, and this is why we had to go on this journey. But it was a daunting task because I feel like we were females in our past lives, in a sense that we weren't really allowed to travel as freely in this culture, at least, is what I'm getting. There was always like this need of a male companion, you know, almost like we needed to ask for permission. This is like Mulan energy, where you had to let go or release certain dogmas in order to go on this journey and to achieve the goal that you were the goal that you wanted to achieve. In this case, I feel that we were in search of something. It could be like a home, but with health here, it could literally be a kind of medicine that was only available in a certain part of the world or something, and it could have something to do with someone that we loved, this Prince of Cups right here. But along the way, we found ourselves falling in love with other people. So the like love triangle situation was really a big deal in our lives. There was a sense of a love triangle here that I think was really weighing heavy on our minds, because we set out on this journey potentially to help this loved one of ours, or we had this person in mind. Maybe we had families, I don't really know, but we set out on this journey to improve something, to come home, to find something that we needed to find. I really don't know what it is. It could be a book, some kind of piece of knowledge, maybe an education or something, but along the way we met someone new, and that was difficult for us because we were already so loyal to a certain somebody, and it was hard for us to feel like we betrayed them. Does that make sense? But what I'm getting with this group is that the family of the old spouse or partner wasn't really accepting of us. It was like a Princess Diana type of situation, where in the garden here, we didn't really feel at home. We didn't really feel accepted. We felt kind of like an outsider. While we may have had love for this Knight of Cups in this scenario, there's 2 Knight of Cups, remember. While we had love for them, there was something happening where their family, or something about them, where they're from, we weren't accepted in. That's what I'm really getting. And we kind of felt like an outsider in that sense. And along the journey, again, to finding something, we ended up meeting new people that we fell in love with. I'm not really getting a sense that we cheated on our spouse or anything like that, but we fell in love, or we became interested in someone else in a romantic sense, and thus we felt as if we betrayed someone. I'm also hearing none, so we may have left to become a nun, or again, delve deeper in our spiritual studies. Because this is, even though she's wearing like a very revealing dress, up top at least, this was giving me nun vibes. She has this book here and she's really taking her education seriously. So it's possible that this is why we walked away from that old life, is in search for spiritual truth in the Mediterranean Sea area. And yeah, look at this. We're like leaving this place that we weren't welcome, and then we're seeing the world and it's opening up to us. We didn't know that these things existed. It's kind of like the Buddha type of situation where he left his life as a prince and lived basically as a peasant, practically, in search for higher truths and deeper truths. And thus the world opened up to him and he was able to see the world from a new lens. He was able to see the realities that certain people were living in. This is what I'm feeling, is that you left someplace and you were scared and you felt alone and you felt like you weren't going to survive. You were in fear. But the world opened up for you and you found friends along the way. So I think that's brought into our lives today, in a sense that those feelings, and this is for people who have a lot of issues with relationships. Like if you're someone who wants a monogamous relationship because you want that loyalty and you kind of don't trust your partners at the same time because you feel like they're going to cheat on you or be dishonest with you, it's because of this past life situation. It's these energies coming back into play as we work through them and kind of make things right, kind of right our karma, right? But yes, Group 5, you went on a sort of pilgrimage, a journey, a very significant journey where the world opened up to you and you started to question a lot of your old beliefs. You went on an adventure in search for truth and found yourself questioning who you were. Your talent in this life is your ability to go on these journeys that not everybody is going to go on. Your strength in this life is your ability to be alone, to do things alone, to stand on your own. There's that lone woman here again. I think she's alone. Check this out. Do you think she's alone? You see her on that side right there? She's alone staring at that view. Art speaks to us in profound ways. There's a reason why this is the combination that came out. Take it as you will. But I'm seeing 3 lone female figures here. So I do feel that being alone, feeling like an outsider of some sort, is a big deal in this scenario. I'm also feeling like with this group, you tend to like to be alone because you don't want to hurt other people. You feel like if you're around other people, you might hurt them somehow. So you kind of protect them by, pushing them away or something like that, by having an avoidant attachment style. But this is beautiful with the be kind to yourself. I feel like you're not kind to yourself. Look at her face here. And her face, they don't look very kind to themselves. It's like they're always beating themselves up. I feel like this is you, Group 5. Like you're always beating yourself up for whatever it is that you think you did wrong. So yeah, in this life, I feel like you should pick another stack if another stack resonates with you, because I'm not getting an end message here. It could be because I picked this stack too, but it just seems like a lot has to do with being in solitude, with getting to know ourselves. With a Hermit card here, this is something that I live by. Like, I literally am a solitary person for the most part. But I always worry, like, is this always gonna be me? I want to find my soul family. I want to, you know, work together. And that's always important to me. And I feel like, okay, well, maybe it's just not time yet. Maybe I'm still supposed to be in a state of being in a solitary kind of habit in the way that I do things. But I've always wanted to change that. I wanted to like open my heart and be vulnerable. I don't know, man. This is very, very interesting. I feel like a door was shut on us some way, somehow, when we lived this past life. And while we had beautiful experiences, Prince of Staves here coming through, Knight of Wands, with this Prince of Staves and these two Knight of Cups here, that's three people. That's three different individual energies coming through. It's like you're almost like stuck between three people that you're like, okay, I can't choose. I'm just gonna be by myself. I'm just gonna be a nun or some spiritual, or like study under a spiritual master or something, because it's too hard to choose kind of vibe, you know? So I think very, very interesting message. Unfortunately, I can't finish it. I don't really have anything conclusive to say other than that this ends too. The solitary habits, they end. And that once you kind of come out of your little cocoon, you emerge out into the world, joining your other soul family, joining your, you know, the people who you're not related to necessarily, but who resonate with you on a soul level, who are kindred souls. I love be kind to yourself. I think I forget that a lot. Like, don't you? Sometimes I'm too hard on myself, and certainly other people are, you know, point out my flaws and faults all the time, which makes it easier to not be kind to myself. But I think that's our journey, Group 5, just to be kind to ourselves. And we've been through quite a bit, and our stories, our journeys matter. Yeah, concentration here. Saturn and Gemini, you're wrestling with yourself. You're wrestling with yourself, how to express yourself, who to be, how to show up in the world. You're feeling so split in many, many ways that you're just like, okay, I can't choose. I'm just going to close my eyes and be alone and then maybe decide. So right now, that's where we're at. It's just like, okay, I need to sort out through all of the noise so I can really, really hear my own voice. But your own voice, I think, is fragmented sometimes. You're being pulled in so many different directions that feel equally compelling. But hey, man, that's tough. I don't have the answer, sorry. I wouldn't be able to pick between three people. I don't want to pick between three people. I've always just wanted one person. So, man, this makes me feel uncomfortable. I guess that's the reading. I'm sorry. Let's get a final oracle card. Oh, the Moonology card. This is perfect. I don't mean to be biased. I didn't get any oracles for the previous decks. But I'm literally feeling stumped in this one. I think it's because I picked it too. Okay, well, we got 3, so let's just go with it. Nothing is yet set in stone. The end of a tough cycle approaches. Be bold and make the first move. And don't let your past hold you back. I love that. This is the last card. We're literally in a past life reading, and this is the card that comes out. So I guess we can let go of that and just recreate ourselves and be reborn. So that's our messages, Group 5. Thanks for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed this reading, and let me know like if you're feeling it, or if you have any observations or like messages that you'd like to add that you picked up on. I'd love to hear that, because this one like stumped me AF. Okay, so have a good night. Bye. Or good morning, or good afternoon. Hey group 6, if you picked the heart chakra stone, let's see the messages that want to come through for you regarding your past life and how that's playing out in this life. Always only take the messages that resonate with you and leave the rest. If they resonate, they should feel like confirmations and intuitive guidance, or intuitive realizations, if you will. So keep that in mind. You are coming through here as the gentleman in your past life. So you could potentially be a male, or a man was a very significant part of your past life story. Moon in Aquarius in the 11th house, independence. There's that Stonehenge circle on the bottom. Maybe an independent man. Interesting. 7 of Wands, valor. I love that. So it's like in the traditional Rider-Waite, this is when the man is on top of a hill and he's fighting all the other wands below. So you were quite a feisty individual. I am getting that you're potentially, or you were potentially a man or a male in your past life. And you were quite the troublemaker almost. You like to stand up for your beliefs. If you didn't agree with somebody, you would certainly let them know. You'd fight for your family, you'd fight for your people. 9 of Wands. We got this in the last stack. Ooh, and the 6 of Cups. I love the 6 of Cups so much. 32, music. You could have been a musician, or maybe you are a musician. And it's doing that thing again. Unakai, live in the now. Nine of Swords, another 9. The longer we dwell in our misfortunes, the greater is their power to harm us. Voltaire, head of a young woman with tousled hair, or Leda, by Leonardo da Vinci. The Empress, Cleopatra, fertility. This is coming through as Cleopatra and Caesar. They're surrounded by animals as well. The crown chakra. Another 7. You got that 7 with the crown chakra and 7 with velour with 7 of Wands. And then 6 the Lovers, which is also it's also a 6 next to the 6 of Cups. Okay, so group 6. You were quite the gentleman in the past, in a sense that you were strong, you were heroic, you protected your family, you may have been a musician, but your family, your wife, your home, your household was very important to you. Love was very important to you. You loved your family, you loved your wife. And it's possible in the time period that you lived in, it's possible you lived in Egypt, or like I said, in the early, or not, I didn't say this, but maybe in the 1400s, or like in the medieval era. I always get that with these kinds of outfits. Can you see that? Are you focusing? But yes, it may have been possible that you were in some sort of conflict, or your people was in some sort of conflict. And you had to go into war to protect your people, to protect your family. That's why you get Valor here and the Nine of Wands. Valor and the Nine of Wands here. There's a lot of messages here about like anxiety or mental anguish. And I do feel it has something to do with some sort of battle or traumatic situation such as war affecting you onwards. It could be even playing into your life right now. You could have been a soldier, or maybe you're a soldier right now. I'm getting here with the Six of Cups. Your wife is younger than you, or was younger than you, and you may have been arranged, or you married your childhood friend or something like that. Your childhood crush. I think you were a well-rounded person, Group 5. I hope that's not too weird, especially if you're a female in this life, to find out that you've been a man, but I am getting that you were a male in your past life. But love is very important for you, and I think it's important for you now. There are a few things that are important for you. It's music, releasing your anxiety. If you have PTSD, it's healing your PTSD, perhaps through music. You might be particularly gifted with music. And you know what I'm getting? Your anxiety, your mental anguish, your PTSD could have been brought in from that past life, from that old war that you lived through and fought through. And you have this sense of needing or wanting to protect your country, to protect your loved ones, to protect your family, your growing family, your young family, if you don't already, or if your family, your growing family, or if you don't already have one, your future family. You're very protective. But your love for your wife, your family, your husband is very, very important to you in this life. Group 5. Your hidden talents is that you are meant to have a family and run and grow a successful family and be successful in multi dimensions in that family unit, not just in providing financial support or a roof over your family's head, but giving them opportunities to experience life in a dynamic way. That makes sense? Like, you'll be able to teach your children music. Maybe you want to be able to bring your kids to singing class or piano lessons or guitar lessons. You know, you also want to be able to have pets and take your kids to the safari in Africa and, you know, give them these sorts of experiences. Your talent is being either a matriarch or a father. Yeah, that's what I'm getting for you. Live in the now. You're seriously gifted in, I think that Group 5, maybe you didn't always want to be a family man in your youth, but I don't know, I'm just getting a sense that, like, you'd be great at it. Because you do have the gentleman and independence here. So it's possible that, you know, being single was like your story for a long time, or maybe it was in your past life. And then you came into union with someone from your past, someone that felt like a soulmate. It could even be a childhood love or something like that you reconnect with. And then you have a family, and that is your purpose. You know, you might be feeling like, my purpose should be bigger, I should be able to do this and do that, and I should be able to be recognized in the world. But you're meant to be a dad, a family man, a mother. Take care of the house, take care of your pets, show your kids the world, teach your kids kind of situation. Yeah, that's what I'm getting for you, group 6. Let me know how you felt about that. I kind of felt kind of bad because I know that not a lot of people, at least in this generation for some reason, want to have kids or want to have a family. They're like kind of showing off about being single and not having any child or animal to worry about, like. But I think that you're meant to be a family person. You're meant to have your own family, grow your own family, and like I said, take your kids to these places that you've always wanted to go. Safari in Africa. Maybe you've always wanted to have a pet and you've never been able to get one. This is what you want to have for your kids. So that's what I'm getting for you, group 6. Thanks for tuning in, and I hope you got valuable messages from this reading. I'll talk to you later. Last but not least, for those of you who picked the Lapis Lazuli for the throat chakra, it doesn't really have to be for the throat chakra, but Lapis Lazuli is for the throat chakra. You know what I mean. Let's see the messages that are coming through for you regarding your past life and how that's affecting this life. Before we get started, please remember that this is a general reading, so only take the messages that are for you and leave the rest. You'll know if they're for you based on how you feel about them. So they should feel like confirmations. They should feel like intuitive guidance being confirmed or realized in you. If you ever feel like, I'm not really resonating with me, then likely you're not even going to be paying attention to those specific messages. Your attention is just going to go elsewhere. So yeah, that's all I have to say. Let's get started. You're coming through in your past life as a fox. Interesting. Guy the fox. Status, Jupiter in Taurus in the 2nd house. Wow. Okay, whoa. Prince of Swords, this is the Knight of Swords. You could have been quite the aggressive person in maintaining power and status for your family, for yourself. Maybe even being a crook in certain regards, but let's see. So the Hanged Man and the Hermit. So this is representing you in this present life. This just tells me that while yes, you could be a Virgo, you don't have to be. I think that you are living quite a different life than your previous life. And I think this is because there's something inside of you that is sensing a sort of memory, a repressed memory, and you're trying to shed light on it like this hermit. The Hanged Man is all about reflection and contemplation and kind of waiting things out in order to come to a conclusion. Look how the hermit is holding this lamp up as if to light his path ahead. It's almost like this is what you're doing in regards to certain parts of your brain. I feel that you're remembering something from your past life, and it's making you ask yourself, like, what does this feeling mean? Why am I feeling like this? Why is this happening to me? And that's because it has to do with your past life. I know some people don't believe in past life and stuff, but I mean, we've had a lot of stories of children and people recalling their past lives and then being accurate about it. So, I mean, it's possible. I do believe in past lives, but we'll get to that in a little bit. 67, physical activity. Maybe some of you are in sports or you need physical activity. Azurite, get laser focused. What an interesting looking rock. It looks like the blue lines in between the green is like rivers. Or are rivers, I should say. My grammar is not good sometimes. when it comes to these videos. I'm great at writing, but speaking, I still need to work on that. Page of Cups. There is no instinct like that of the heart. Lord George Gordon Byron. Cupid and Psyche by Sir Edward Burne-Jones, 19th century. Page of Hearts. Seven of Cups. Four of Wands, foundations and achievements. I'll put an insert of a close-up of these cards, by the way, so you can get a better look. Oh, and Two of Cups coming together. I love how this reading is showing a lot of messages about relationships and soulmates. So group 7. You want a lot of things in your life. You want success, you want riches, you want beauty, you want physical attractiveness, and you want love, you want adventure, you want all sorts of things. But you can't fully decide just yet on what you want to focus fully on. This is one of those instances where your past life doesn't affect you as much and as seriously as others who's watching this video. I think that you kind of want to move forward from it. You definitely did a 180, because with the Fox here and Status and the Prince of Swords as your past life cards, you are quite tenacious and ruthless in the way that you handled certain things. But I think that was just the norm back in those days. But now, it's almost like you're turning your back away from that energy, and it's as if you're forgiving yourself. Like, you do feel a little bit of a guilt, but that's just buried underneath the surface. It's very subtle. You know what this is telling me? Like, you might be like white, and I think you have like a guilt. You have a guilt because you're white and you think you're privileged and you feel guilty about certain things that your people did or something, at least on an unconscious level. But you're wanting to move forward and forgive yourself and just choose to live your life and to be a good person and to learn from mistakes, even though you're not fully, or I guess maybe you are, but you're not fully aware of where this guilt is coming from. You don't really want to put too much emphasis on it. You actually want quite wholesome things. It's similar to the last stack in a sense that you want to have success and wealth and balance and you want to have success, balance in many levels, or on all levels of life. You want health, you want wealth, you want great relationship, you want beautiful, smart, intelligent kids. You want a happy family, you want friends, you want the luxury to do whatever the hell you want, to have enough food and not worry about money, you know? It's almost like you live this bad life, I guess you could say, but you don't want to take on the karma of that bad life. I want to say bad because of like the things that you guys did in the past to maintain power and status, kind of like unscrupulous practices, if you will. But you also want to forgive yourself in this life. And the past life thing could literally be like 200 years ago, 100 years ago. You know, maybe your ancestors did some shitty things and you know that maybe they were slave owners, or Maybe they played dirty or something like this. Maybe you have a story in your family about a certain ancestor. I feel that you do sense a guilt and you're trying to change that by being a good person. But you also want to, you know, take advantage of your privilege. And you want to have the things that you want still without feeling guilty about them. You could be a very athletic person, very fit. Physical activity, something that's important to you or could be important to you and could be beneficial for you. I think that some of you want to lose weight, you want to be fitter, and I think also this is going to be helping you. It is next to laser focused here. And I'm seeing that this is actually 13. It simplifies to 4, and here is foundation and achievements. So some of you could literally be professional athletes or something like that. Maybe you're competing or something, or you want to be a professional athlete. Maybe you're not sure about that, and this is definitely a sign for you to go for that if you feel like that's something that you want to do in your heart. There is no instinct like that of the heart here, with Lord Byron as the Page of Cups. Because yeah, with the Seven of Cups, there's a sense of uncertainty. You don't know what to do about something, and I see that with the Hangman too. You don't know what to do about something. This is interesting. What are final messages for group 7? You're dealing with a lot of guilt, and I really don't know why. Feel free to share or email me if you want to share your story privately. I love it when you guys reach out to me about your stories and you want to share with me. I love that. Thank you for wanting to do that. But yeah, feel free to share your story with me, because I am feeling like a huge sense of guilt for whatever reason. Stabilize and humility, Dandelion. So St. John's worked. Maybe you're a John, maybe you know a John. Maybe you're a Byron, I don't know. Where is this? Why is this? So that's that, and then humility, Dandelion. So yes, exactly what I'm saying. You feel like you have to have humility because you feel privileged on some level. You feel powerful. You feel like you have the upper hand, yet you don't necessarily want to give up those privileges. But if you're worried, if you're wondering about your purpose or what to do next, because I feel like that's possibly in your energy right now, it's something definitely regarding physical activity. So if you're a professional athlete and you are like, oh, what am I going to do next? Like, I feel kind of lost and airy and can't decide on something. Well, you know, keep with the physical activity. Take that the next step. Take that to the next step. Lean into that, especially if you're physically gifted. And use your success for good, you know? And it's okay, you can have happiness in this life. Just because you did crappy things in the past, you're gonna pay for that in some way. And I think maybe you already have. I don't know how, but perhaps you already paid for the karma that you're still carrying around in the past. You can still have happiness and foundation achievements and coming together. Relationship, family, having kids, having a wife to come home to, cook you dinner, help with the laundry, help with the dishes, I think is very important to you. And I think you want to have kids. I think you want to raise children. I think you want to be a dad. I think you want to be a mom. So that's all I'm getting for you, group 6. I love that sorry, 7. You may have watched group 6 too, maybe, but stabilize and humility, I think, is a powerful final message for you. Just come to terms with the guilt that you have for whatever reason is the message. And physical activity really wants to show up here as a path forward to the foundation that you want to build for yourself. So yeah, that's all I'm getting. I hope you enjoyed this reading and I hope it resonated with you, and give this video a thumbs up if it did.